if I want to get from here to there, it's easier just to walk stiff-legged. But my physical therapist, an orthopedic surgeon, reminded me it's much more helpful to be mindful and bend the knee slowly, albeit slightly painfully, and just take time and be mindful getting here. It's a simple lesson, one that's repeated many times a day for me, not just in walking, but in cooking, talking, listening, singing. And it's in that spirit that I remember the symbol of the cornucopia spilled up and overflowing here at Thanksgiving. And remember that the important thing about a cornucopia is not what it holds, but what it has space to hold. And I'm reminded again and again to be willing to make space for the divine to work through me and bear fruits in whatever way it does. That's easy to remember on a good day, and not so easy at other times. In the minutes after our car wreck on October 6th, I had a blinding insight. I've talked a little bit about this already, that really nothing matters. Out there in the middle of West Texas, after this serious collision, I was suddenly aware that whoever I was back home didn't matter here, and whoever I knew back home wasn't here. My wife was unconscious and being passed out to the helicopter. My dad and his partner were in shock. And there, in that moment, I saw with blinding clarity that everything I'd ever done or earned or written or met or traveled meant nothing. Because I was in the middle of the moment just being with what was, which was a very wrecked car and 3 not helpful adults. And I was going to have to just be with Spirit. In the week since then, I've come to understand that's true every moment, really. That whatever I've done or said or earned or been doesn't really matter in this present moment, as proud as I can be of what I own and have done and been, gone. In this moment, I'm asked to remember again and again the importance of being empty, open, and receptive for life to flow freshly through and manifest in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. Last week I spoke a bit about gratitude, being grateful for what is, whatever it is, whatever is present right now, learning to be grateful for what is. This morning I'd like to talk a little bit about being grateful for what isn't. For the void, for that big, empty, yawning feeling that comes up to greet us again and again in so many different circumstances, under so many different guises. As I said, one of the real gifts of our car wreck, now almost 2 months ago, was that I suddenly understood that nothing really mattered except being present to love. Basically just being present. But as we got to healing, I had an interesting awareness that nothing really mattered anymore, so why bother doing anything? Why bother picking up the dirty laundry? Why bother getting back to the office and starting to answer the thousands of backed up emails which is stacked up in my inbox? Why bother anything? Because nothing matters. Turns out that's not really that helpful an attitude. Which is not a new awareness. The early Christian desert fathers and mothers, the Abbas and the Ammas, The first people who, 100 years after Jesus' death, had taken this growing body of awareness around Christianity and this growing religion and the structures. And these first desert abbas and ammas said, wait a minute. Maybe being true followers of Christ, true followers of the way, is not about embracing a dogma, a church, a building, a set of rules. Maybe we need to go out to the desert and really find out what matters. So these founders of what we would now call Christian mysticism started teaching, writing, reflecting on the power of facing into the void, of letting go of all trappings and just being with what was. And they wrote some guidelines around it. There's whole courses, whole libraries filled with books of what the early Christian mothers and fathers had to say on the subject. Look it up. Just Google Abbas and Ammas, Abbas, Ammas. There's whole libraries based on these early teachers understanding that nothing really means nothing, but everything's in there. And so here's some guidelines in modern language that they wrote and that have been taught for 2,000 years in the Christian tradition among Christian mystics, not to be confused with what we now call mainstream Christianity. Although increasingly the two are informing each other, but that's a subject for another time. Guideline number 1 is be silent. Shut up. You're not that important. No matter what you think, or who you think you are, or what you think about what you think, it helps spending some time every day just being silent. You can call that meditation if you want. You can have a whole set of rituals around it if you want, and mantras and way to sit if you want. But first of all, and most of all, the number 1 guideline that the Christian mystics and the Buddhist mystics, and I'm guessing mystics from all traditions, is spend time being silent. And the second, like unto it, is don't measure yourself against anyone or anything, including yourself. Comparing, measuring, setting this moment up against any other moment, including those glorious moments I had just yesterday, or the wonderful moments I'm looking forward to having tomorrow, or when I finally get thin enough or healthy enough or rich enough or whatever enough. Comparing myself against myself, past or future, much less against someone who's clearly more holy than I am, or smarter than I am, or knows more than I do. Comparing is not helpful. And if we find myself comparing myself to anyone or anything, including myself, the best thing to do is to remember guideline number 1, which is be silent. And just watch those thoughts go for a minute and recognize they're only thoughts. They're not a definition of who I am. Despite my mind's insistence that it is who I am, it is not who I am. If I just take a few moments to listen to my thoughts, I realize he thinks he's smart, but he doesn't know that much. The third guideline in practicing the void is to practice restraint in eating. Does that mean go on a diet or fast? Well, yeah, that's helpful. The desert ammas and abbas clearly spent time fasting and eating minimal amounts. But it's not just about food. It's practicing restraint in what we consume, which is no small task in a culture which is built on consumerism. We've just been through the Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and Every day is a shopping opportunity with 40% off now, only now. And those messages about consumption, like the messages about food, and the messages about clicking onto the next thing on your iPhone, on your computer, the next thing which leads to the next thing, which leads to the next thing, which leads nowhere, really. It all falls under the rubric of practicing restraint in what you eat. You are what you eat. And what you eat includes what you watch, what you buy, what you wear. And I know it's profoundly countercultural to understand this, but the desert Amas and Amas were nothing if not profoundly countercultural. 2,000 years ago, they were saying, we eat too much, we buy too much, we do too much, let's go out into the desert and do less. And that was long before the internet and supermarkets and big box stores open 24/7. It is a basic cultural underpinning to look outside ourselves for completion. And this way of being, this way of making ourselves empty and open and receptive for what we really long for, which is what? A sense of connection, of love, of oneness, of peace and well-being. That's what we really long for. And we've been tricked into thinking we get that by buying stuff or eating stuff or getting stuff. No. We really get it by emptying ourselves out again and again, practicing restraint in what we eat, not comparing ourselves to anyone or anything, much less ourselves, being silent, and understanding that perfection is not something I can achieve tomorrow. Perfection is only present in the present moment. That's the only place perfection lives. Everything else is what? A comparison, an attempt to bring more in, which allows us, me, to return again and again to home. Let's take a moment to feel with me the power of simply being home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Here, right here. The welcome mat is out. And it's not that anything else has to happen. And as I come home to this moment, feel welcome, am silent, let go of comparisons, let go of the need to have anything, be anywhere, be anyone except what is right now. As I understand the perfection of this moment, as I become open and willing to allow the light to express in me, through me, as me, miracles happen. At least, that's my story. And I'm breathing into it.